So this bus looks like a 45-foot Eagle, but it is not. This is a homemade bus. So he hired a guy to build this bus for him, and it started out as a pile of steel on the floor, and the guy started welding steel together and made an Eagle bus. So that's pretty amazing. Okay. Okay, hang on a second. Do that again. Well, that pivot point, you could see it was tweaking. It wasn't just turning. So there's cone bearings in there, and they were just way out of adjustment. They looked good. We were able to tighten everything up, and now it's pivoting good. Okay, hang on a second. Let me get a little clearer shot here. This side's got multiple problems. All right, go ahead and do it again. So the kingpin is actually good over here. It's the lower like A-arm kingpin. It runs horizontally there for the suspension that's bad. That's where the tweak's at.
The suspension?
Okay. All right. Can you hop inside without killing me?
Is there a step?
And I'm gonna have him. Yeah, there's no step.
Stand door, I wish we could get that thing working there. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's weak, you know. I don't know how to fix it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, just jiggle it back and forth.
Well, the jiggle's a lot easier now.
Well, yeah, the wheels are off the ground. This side looks good up there. Okay. You can stop. Go ahead and do it again. Well, we had another bus come in here now with no visible oil in the bogie axle on here because it's not a trailing axle. But yeah, there's no visible oil in that hub at all. It hasn't leaked out. There's no sign of a leak. There's no oil.
What is something you really see things? So we can see.
I noticed this big 4-aught cable is loose here on this Telma retarder, so it's like a big electromagnet brake, drive shaft brake. But I don't know if that's positive or what. I need to look into it and be careful with it. Okay. Yep, we made your hammer. A few drips.
Messy.
So let me see. Is there any metal in there that you can see?
A little bit.
It looks like it from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
all
definitely
in there.
sparkly. Hard to believe somebody built that bus totally from scratch and then, used the Eagle components on it, but the frame and everything, they just made it. So we're getting ready to replace this power steering gearbox here. We're able to get to part of it through the headlight area here, and then also from underneath the spare tire, there's a access to get in from down here. We're getting ready to pull the pitman arm in there and get a good angle from over here too. That is a heavy sucker, but we got it out. So that's a tapered kingpin in that knuckle that we're getting ready to take out. It's a short little kingpin, it goes in sideways. Try to hit it with a sledgehammer.
I'm gonna hit this one flat.
Yeah. Kingpin press on there now because we couldn't get it any other way. Just gonna try it by hand first. Adjust it a little. Okay, it's still lined up. Cranking it.
Yeah, mine's slowly coming down though.
I don't want to keep my face that close to it. The kingpin press popped it loose, and we're going to drive it out the rest of the way. The air hammer should do it now. Get the longer bit for it though. no. But
Mine slid back.
I think it's way messed up. The bushing looks terrible.
It's sticking out like an inch.
Towards you?
Yeah.
I'm driving that bushing out with a socket. Pull it out. So it's in there backwards, so it kind of self-piloted itself. So stick, yeah, see it's driving that bushing right out of there. Go ahead and stick it back in. And I'm just hitting with a sledgehammer. Big 20-pound sledge. Can you hold this camera while you... Good?
Mm-hmm.
Grab that washer that just fell. Need a bigger hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I pulled too hard. Here's the other bushing. Bad, but not quite as bad as the other one was. See how bad the Kingpin is all rusted and worn. It's even got some rusting at the top, but that's not where it pivots. It has a sleeve. So the sleeve is also very gouged up. This goes in there. So that's bad. There's the new Kingpin and bushing set. Before and after. Before and after. So a long time ago, this grease fitting got messed up. Something hit it, something on the road or something. Doesn't really look much like a grease fitting. And with all the dirt and stuff down here, somebody just then skipped over it, and it's not been greased, which is why this went out and had to be replaced. That caused a couple $1,000s worth of damage because nobody was greasing it. So you got to know where things move, and you got to grease stuff. And this is one of them. So we're going to have to replace this grease fitting. Doesn't look much like a grease fitting anymore. To make sure grease was coming out of the bushing everywhere. It was just starting to come out of the bottom one there too. So that's good. And we check the other side too. Got the new grease fitting in there. We'll get the caps on and we'll really grease the crap out of it. So here's the problem. When you had this weighed, the front axle was over 16,000 pounds. The drive axle was 22,400. The bogies had almost 9,000 pounds on them. So that is a lot of weight. And the biggest concern of those numbers, almost, getting close to 50,000 pounds for the whole bus, but that front axle at over 16,000 pounds is completely unacceptable. We have to help him with this. That's very, very dangerous. Okay, the biggest issue here is we believe the front axle is, we know it's way overweight. Although I can't find any markings on this because it's not a factory-made bus, that I believe that is a Rockwell FF971, I think is what someone told me, but I haven't been able to find a proof of it. I believe on a regular Eagle, though, it's a 12,000 pound front end. And we're running 16,000 pounds on here, which is way, way overweight. We can cut that down considerably. This very first bay is a fresh water tank, and I think it's 200 gallons. So I told him, travel with that thing mostly empty. Just have enough water in there for you to take your showers while you're on the road. He's not boondocking in this bus. He's going from RV park to RV park where they have water supply available for him. So don't travel with this full, and you can save probably 1,500 pounds on this front axle. This is almost all going to be loaded to the front axle on there. So now we're talking, we're getting it closer to 14,000 pounds, which is getting closer to what it's at. Even it may be a 13,000 pound axle, but there's no way it's a 14,000 pound axle. I don't think. But somebody may know more than me, but 16,000 is definitely not. Also, he can travel with less fuel. His fuel tank, although it's all the way back here, and most of this weight's going to come onto the bogie, but some of it will come to there. Travel with your, dump your tanks, your gray tanks and your black tanks before you leave an RV park, which they probably usually do anyways. And then anything you load in these bays, if you could try to move it to the back, that kind of stuff, that's all going to help. Anything you don't need to travel with, just put the bus on a little bit of a diet, and that will help. We don't know how overbuilt the guy that built it made it, so maybe he made some modifications where it can really handle the weight, but I doubt it. So that's our number one thing. And then the tires, we're going to go show you the tires, why it's so important with the weights on the tires. So these 11R 24.5s, they're H range load rated, which that's the most they make in a 11R 24.5 of anybody. So the max load for a single configuration is 7,160 pounds. So that would be 14,320 pounds maximum on the front axle, and he's definitely over that. So we can go to another tire. We have to change rims. We can go to a 22.5 rim, and then we can put a 315/80 on there with a higher weight rating that'll get it up to 9,000 pounds per tire, which would definitely cover his weight. So if he is overweight, because he's been riding on these way overweight, 2,000 pounds, so 1,000 pounds per tire overweight. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if this front tire blows out while you're driving this bus on the highway, that bus will end up on its side in a ditch 90% of the time. Not to mention any injuries that's going to happen to him or any other vehicle or pedestrian, or you don't want to you could crash into another vehicle oncoming. A steer tire blowout is very bad. Being a couple thousand pounds overweight on your front axle is not recommended. So we're going to make those couple little changes for him, so at least his tires will be rated for it. Mechanically, we're going to try to get him to, like I said, not travel with that full water, move some stuff around on the inside and cut down on the weight. Let's get that weight down, but let's put a beefier tire on there, so that no matter what, if he is, because he's going to have trouble getting it down to within this number here. That's going to be difficult to do. And we don't even know the variance from left or right. One of them may be, have even, 400 or 500 pounds more on it than the other one. These are the Allison transmission filters here. This is for the 4-inch sump. Oil for the oil change, and the transmission with the synthetic. Filter one. Just the smallest amount of metal stuff on that drain plug magnet. Very fine paste. There's always going to be some in there. Put a new O-ring on there. All right, so we got the Kingpins in. New shocks all around. Working on a couple more things still, but we're making progress. The transmission fluid has changed. Engine oil has changed. All new shocks, bogie shocks, drive shocks. put a new wheel seal on this hub here, and then that other one we filled with oil. The bearings surprisingly looked decent, but yeah, this is a 8V92 TA, but it's nice and clean. He seems to take really good care of it, but yeah, it's a nice bus. Well, that's where we are for this week. I think finishing the week here on Friday, so we should have this done first to middle of next week.
See that white smoke rising up the holler through the trees, and from a mile away you can hear them play as they climb that hill with ease. But at the top of that mountain there's a new life waiting for those who can make the run. If they can make it to the top, Scott will put them in the shop till their new life has begun. Mountain, where the buses come to run. Bus Grease Mountain, we're gonna get that big job done.